Hi everyone, it's Koinzell here. So finally, after doing up the 3 tier list videos, the PvE, PvP and GVG, now we have the final one, which is the overall tier list, taking into consideration all 3 previous tiers, all 3 previous categories to be exact. Okay, so now let's do a quick recap on the PvE, PvP and GVG. Okay, so this is my PvE tier list, the S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier. So S is obviously the very best, A is above average, good tier, B is the average tier, C is below average, and D is terrible. Okay. Now, for the classes, right, if you see them having a red background, they are the awakening classes. Any of the other ones with white or blue, or even this case darker blue background, are all the ascension classes. Okay. Now, for the benefit of all the viewers, especially those who did not watch my first 3 tier videos, which I'll put a link up in the top right corner. If you did not manage to catch those videos, I'll just quickly say that this is the Darkness, which is the Dark Knight Awakening. Here you have the Land Awakening, which is Crimson Lotus. Here you have Shy Ascension, Tamer Ascension, also known as Wolf Queen. Then here you have the Berserker, which is the Warrior Awakening. Giant Awakening is here, the Destroyer. This is Land Ascension. Reaper, which is Sorceress Awakening. Shadow of Void Knight, which is the Dark Knight Awakening. Dark Knight Ascension. This is the Meiwa Awakening. Yawn. There's only a Korean name for it, there's no English name for it, which is Yawn. Here you have the Raven, which is the Sorceress Ascension. Ranger Awakening, which is the Windwalker. Here you have Musa Ascension, Blade Enlightened. You have the Witch Ascension here, which I know on... Okay, this part is actually a bit confusing because the name on the global server I believe is Archmage. But Archmage is actually the name of the Awakening Witch in Taiwan. This is Archmagician. I know there's not much of a difference versus Archmagician and Archmage, but yeah. For simplicity's sake, I will always say Witch Ascension and Witch Awakening. Okay, then you have Archer, Huntress, Titan. This is the Meiwa. Meiwa Ascension is actually called Xionghua. Then you have the Mystic. I already touched this, and this is the Tamer Awakening, which is the Cyrus. Here you have Musa Awakening, which is Blade Awaken. I know the name is a bit terrible. I'm quite sure they will give you a better English name when it comes to global. Then you have Lancer, Striker, Gladiator, and Paladin. So this is the PvE tier list. Next here we have the PvP tier list from my previous video. So these are pretty much the same. B is the average tier here, D is below average, A is above, S is the best. Okay. Now you have GVG tier. So GVG tier itself is split to the 5 tiers. The only reason Arena has 4 tiers is because the differences for Arena is actually very close. It is more balanced in that aspect. Okay, and this is for GVG. So now let's dive straight into the creation of the overall tier list. Now overall tier list itself, let's see, let's start from the bottom as usual. So if you guys notice, there is one class that appears in the bottom in all 3 of the categories. Unfortunately, it's our Pro Soul here, our Pro Musa Awakening. Yeah, and here as well for GVG. So that means he's here. No questions asked. Okay. Now these 2 classes, their saving grace, right, is the fact that they have disablers in GVG. Otherwise, in terms of DPS, I'll put them in D tier as well. Then you have the Striker, which is only good in Arena, and then you have Lancer, which terrible in PvE, good in PvP, I will put her bottom and GVG actually, because she doesn't have disablers. Her damage is also not high in terms of dealing to a whole bunch of opponents. So Lancer will appear here, definitely before Musa. This guy will be the very last. Okay. Next. Usually, if you look at it, the next one to put down is actually Striker, because he's not good in the PvP. He's only good in PvP, but not good in GVG, not good in PvE. In fact, PvP he's only slightly better than Lancer really. Yeah, so this is how I will rate him. Titan. Titan is actually terrible in PvP, average at best in PvE, and okay in GVG I guess. Because of his grab is in fact better than the okay, you know what, let's put him in C tier. And you have Gladiator and Paladin. Like I said, they are only in C tier overall because of their grab skill. Other than that, they should be in the bottom. Okay, let's see. Another recurring one will be Sorceress, I believe. Because if you look at Sorceress, right, you should see the bottom of C tier in PvE. PvP, she's in D tier. GVG, she's in C tier. So I'll put her in C tier. 2 C's, 1 D. So definitely in C tier. At least these 3 have B in GVG because of their grab skill. Oh, but the averages are because of their PvE. Yeah, I guess this is. Wait, let me see. I might want to put Sorceress in front because Sorceress has a grab skill as well. Just that her grab skill duration does not last as long as these 3. Mystic. I think Mystic has to go into C tier actually. Her PvE is C, her PvP is A, her GVG is D. So you have CAD. I feel that brings her to C actually. Maybe the very front of C or the very bottom of B, depending. Okay. Okay, let's do it slightly different in this video. Let's do by process of elimination, meaning I'm going to do the top tier first. So top tier, so that whatever else is left probably will just go into B tier, and then at the end of it I will make the necessary adjustments. Okay, so there are 2 classes that always appear in the S tier, and I think if you have watched my videos you will know which 2. Basically here you have the Land Awakening in S tier, Shine in S tier for PvE, PvP again Land Awakening in S tier, Shine in S tier, GVG Land Awakening in S tier, Shine in S tier. So that means that they automatically go into S tier without a doubt. The 2 of them, in terms of overall ranking. Okay. Let's talk about Land Ascension since we are at Land here. So Land Ascension itself, A tier for PvE, bottom of S tier for PvP, G tier she's S tier as well. So 2S has 2S and an A. Okay, I didn't say it in a different order, right? Yeah, I think you guys know what I mean. Okay, so with 2S and an A, right, I think yeah, she can be in S, but maybe at the bottom. Okay, now let's look at the Archer. Yeah, Archer is average in PvE, but in terms of the GVG, PvP, I'll put him here in the number 2 spot. GVG, he's over here in the S spot. So with that being said, right, I will actually put him here, and he's only behind Land Ascension in terms of overall because of the PvE prowess, but he is much stronger in PvP and GVG. So let's put him in front instead. Okay. Another one of the S member would actually be Darkness, I guess. Yeah, another S member is Darkness. Actually, I like this particular track here. Okay, so Darkness. Let's talk about Darkness. Should Darkness be in A or S? If you look at Darkness itself, right, she's an absolute beast in PvE. Check out the video that I did comparing the Land Awakening and Darkness. Darkness is like 25% faster than the Land Awakening in PvE. That's a huge difference. PvP, she's also very strong. She can do the range attacks and melee attack. Once your opponent thinks that you're playing range all the time and they start trying to rush towards you, that is when you can counter with a melee combo. So that's really nice. In fact, I actually went all the way up from first placement match to 4,000 points, which is the challenger rank, within half an hour with 0 losses. It was straight 100% win streak all the way up to challenger rank. That's how strong Darkness is. Of course, there is my CP to play to factor, but even if I use Lan, right, the chance of me winning is not as high as with Darkness, that's for sure. So PvP, Darkness is really strong. Now, it's not a stretch to call the number 1. But in GVG, I do feel her limitations as opposed to Lan, for example, or even the Archer as well. So personally, I rank her as A for GVG. That being said, given that she has 2 S and an A, I think I am actually put her at the bottom of S tier. Okay. Actually, if that's the case, I think Land Awakening should be at the bottom. Yeah, because Land Awakening has Land Ascension has only A rank in PvE. PvP she's also behind. GVG she's slightly better. So yep, Darkness should be before the Land Ascension. I'm gonna leave the 3 top mule classes as the last. Let's talk about the rest of the classes. So Huntress. Now, Huntress PvE, she's only at the bottom of the average tier. PvP, I also rate her as bottom of the average tier. There are way too many mobility skills now in all the classes to catch up with her. So her range is not much of an advantage in PvP. But in GVG, that's where she shines. She's in the 3rd spot in my opinion. So, given taking that into consideration, right, I will actually just put her either at the bottom of A tier or the top of B tier. Probably at the bottom of A tier. Let's see how it goes, but she does deserve a spot in A tier just for her usefulness in the GVG. But don't forget there's an Archer now. Archer, a lot of Huntresses have actually switched to Archers on my server. Because Archer can do the same but much better, with better mobility, better speed. Yeah, so she has been outshined in most areas in fact. The only difference is that the Archer range is shorter than the... Archer is more mid-range compared to Huntress. Okay. Since we just talked about Darkness as well, let's talk about Shadow. Okay, Shadow, which is Void Knight. So Shadow is at the very... almost at the very top of the B tier for PvE. PvP, she's bottom of the S tier. GVG, she's slightly below average within the average tier. So she has 1S, 1B, and a B. So I guess that brings her to either the top of B or the bottom of A. Let's put at the bottom of A first. We'll adjust accordingly. Okay, let's talk about Meiwa. Meiwa honestly is not that strong on the whole. So you have Meiwa Awakening here in B tier. Meiwa Ascension is here in C tier. PvP wise, the Meiwa Ascension is stronger than Meiwa Awakening, though not by much. Because although her skills are very similar to Musa, she's lacking one of the invulnerable if I'm not wrong. I can't remember which. But she is also a class that is very seldom played in Taiwan. almost close to 0 that type of seldom plate, similar to Paladin and Lancer. Okay, so that being said, right, since the Meiwa Awakening is better in most areas compared to the Meiwa Ascension, I'll probably put her slightly ahead, but both in B rank. She's just average at best, basically. And the difference between the two is not that huge. She's only slightly above average, slightly ahead of the Meiwa Ascension because she also has the counter skill, but on top of that she has a freeze skill as well, a skill that can freeze your opponent. So that is very nice. When she was first released, she was very strong in PvP. But since then there have been a lot of changes, so right. Then let's talk about Tamer. Okay, I know everyone is keen on Tamer as well. Tamer is definitely S tier in PvE. Unfortunately, in PvP, I will rate her somewhere in the average tier, maybe slightly below in the average tier. GVG, I would also say she's not high, she's at the bottom of C tier. So taking into all of this in consideration, if you are a person who values the PvE part of it, right, then she will gain a higher rank, it's A rank. But if you look at her, in terms of using her as a main character, let's say you don't care about the AFK farming part of it, right? In terms of actually playing the character in GVG content, she's definitely weaker than Shadow. So this is the difference here. Okay. Let's talk Wingwalker. Okay, wait. Before that, right? Let me just change the music. Okay, Wingwalker. The other class that is very seldom played. Now, Wingwalker is average in PvE. PvP, she's also average, slightly above average at the top average. GVG, I will put her below average. So what this means is that she's definitely going into B rank, somewhere near the bottom of B rank, the lower half of it. And let's talk about Raven and Reaper, Sorceresses. I know you guys are very interested in Sorceress. So I'll talk about Sorceress and then Witch Needs, and then we'll go into the top 3 male classes. So Sorceress itself, unfortunately right now she's really just average. Reaper is slightly better than the Raven in PvE. PvP, Raven is slightly better than the Reaper. GVG, Raven is a lot better than the Reaper. Reaper is at the bottom of the average tier, whereas Raven is at the top of the average tier. Mainly because of the 2 range skills that she has versus So with that, right, that being said, right, it simply means this is how you're gonna be. This is the ranking. Okay. I just want to quickly compare the Raven and Wingwalker. Pretty much the same, really. Oh, but Raven is better than Wingwalker in GVG. Yes, indeed. So she should be here. Between Reaper and Wingwalker, there's not much of a difference. Doesn't really make much of a difference. Alright, Witch, our Pro Witch, one of the classes that is really not strong. PvE, the Awakening Witch is here, the Ascension Witch is here, slightly better, B and C. PvP wise, Witch Awakening, I would say she's average. The Ascension one is definitely not good in PvP. And you have GVG. Awakening is slightly better, only slightly better. All in all, I would say Awakening is slightly better because of the overall ranking, but not by much. In fact, should I put her in C tier? Feels like I should put her in C tier actually. Yeah. No, this should be in C tier. This should be in C tier, even though she has range skill. Because of a range skill, maybe she deserves a spot slightly ahead in the C tier itself, but not by much really. Not by much. Alright, finally we are at the top 3 Mew classes. So you have the Berserker, the Destroyer, as well as the Musa Awakening. So let's go with Musa Awakening first. Musa Ascension. Musa Ascension, right? PvE, to me, he's really average, although people say he's better than average. By the way, no one plays him in the Taiwan server as well. Very underrated class. PvP, definitely I rank him as a S class. With a high skill player, he can go to the top for sure. GVG, I also feel that he's not that strong really. He's at the above average part, mainly because of the counters and the invulnerabilities, but not the huge of an impact, so that's why she's only in the B tier. But given that he's S in PvP, we may move him to here. Yeah, over here. But his mobility loses to Shadow. So between these two, right? If you value mobility more than Shadow, it's definitely better than Musa. And personally, I do. It's just that I don't think there's much of a difference really. Actually, you know what? Because of his mobility, I think he should be bottom here because these two has mobility skills. She is only here because of her GVG prowess. Okay. Now we have the Destroyer coming up next. Destroyer, right? He's actually pretty decent in PvE. A rank. Also very good in PvP. A rank. Also an A rank in GVG. So he has all 3 A's. Yeah. So very stable A character per se. That should put him at the very top of A actually. Because Huntress is not A in everything. Now next we have the Berserker. Berserker is also A in PvE, PvP, as well as GVG, and she's always ahead of the Berserker. Sorry, ahead of the Destroyer other than that last category there. So if you ask me, I will actually put the Berserker here. Of course, Berserker, like I said, is still subject to change. When we do get him in the second week of July, maybe I can comment more. Okay. So this is how my overall ranking setup would be like. These 3 may move to the bottom here, rather here. They are only here because of their usefulness in disabling. That's it. I need to re-emphasize this a lot because to me these 3 are trash tier class actually. Okay, let me just quickly review the overall ranking here. Yeah, this looks okay. This is a tier list that I would put my faith in. At least because it's my own opinion anyway. The only thing is whether or not I want to move these 3 to D tier, that's all. Let's keep them here for their usefulness in GVG. This is for low CP characters, yeah? Low CP characters to contribute in GVG. That's where their value is. Put them down here, it means that C there's only 3 tiers. I guess it's alright. Okay. So there you go guys, this is the overall ranking that I will have for the Black Desert Mobile. And thanks everyone for watching. If you like the content, remember to like the video and click subscribe for more. Alright, thanks and bye everyone.